Martin Prince is the lovable, if not slightly grating brainiac who often finds himself at the wrong end of a bully's fist.
Look, fellows, the first snapdragon of the season.
Never mind, let's just get him! Yeah!
But one thing I love about Martin is his unashamed trait of just being his dorky, sensitive, and slightly flamboyant self.
40 whacks with a wet noodle, Bart!
And within a school like Springfield Elementary, where bullies run the roost and students are often cast out just for being different, this trait is incredibly rare. And something that will come to be his greatest strength in future episodes. So without further ado, here's how Martin Prince has really evolved over the course of The Simpsons and how he could continue to evolve in the future. Amongst Bart's many peers, there are tons of hidden layers and surprising evolutions, but one of the most unique belongs to Martin. He almost has the opposite effect. Introduced in the second episode of the series, his role for the show was clear from the off, and so poised to be an important reoccurring character. Martin Prince is one of Bart's fellow students in the 4th grade at Springfield Elementary, and arguably the biggest nerd there. And considering the fact that Milhouse is just sitting over there as a classmate, that's really saying something.
I'm not a nerd, Bart. Nerds are smart.
The son of a successful stockbroker, Martin is a uniquely brilliant young man who is usually held up as one of the more innocent and well-meaning of Bart's classmates, even if he does quietly have an angry and vindictive side. Since his introduction, Martin's intelligence has been a major focus of his character. He was confirmed to be a borderline genius in the episode Bart the Genius. This was after annoying Bart enough that the bad boys stole Martin's glowing test results, which turned out to be pretty genius answers.
The child is not supposed to know his own IQ, of course, but you can see it's beyond the range of any doubt.
912?
He doesn't hide from his intelligence and only makes things harder for himself against the bullies by being one of the most biggest suck-ups in the school too, constantly trying to earn his teacher's approval by any means necessary.
Pick me, teacher, I'm ever so smart!
Playing often a hall monitor and general dork, Martin usually only plays minor roles in episodes, and when pushed, can lash out, hinting at a surprising well of pent-up anger.
This feels good. No wonder you do it.
However, we're going to take it back to the very beginning of this series, where Martin was a far more prevalent character. Despite his relatively minor status in most seasons of the show, Martin was one of the very first fully fleshed out students at Springfield Elementary. He was even set up as something of an intellectual foil to the underachiever and proud of it, Bart Simpson.
Eat my shorts. Pardon?
This was actually how Martin took central roles in episodes, running against Bart in the student elections and competing against him in race car derbies. As a result, in those early seasons, Martin had a more consistent relationship with Bart than almost any other character in the school. Milhouse and Nelson would take time to become more consistent characters in Bart's orbit, and so showing that his most consistent peer hadn't yet been decided in these very early episodes anyway. And so Martin filled that role too, even opposite Bart and Milhouse directly in Season 2's 3 Men and a Comic Book. This saw the trio try to share ownership of a rare comic book only for their own selfish desire to build up a genuine conflict. As other kids like Milhouse, Nelson and Ralph Wiggum got even more developed in future seasons, Martin shifted more and more into the background. It became increasingly rare for Martin to truly factor into many actual plot lines after Season 3. From being Bart's bitter rival, Martin became a more attention-starved and flamboyant dork, more often dancing and skipping around rather than actually doing anything of note in the plot. His character shifted into being more of the ultimate teacher's pet.
May I type my report? It'll be easier on teacher's eyes.
But at times it seems that even Skinner and Krabappel couldn't bear Martin either. And so he was relegated into minor comic roles. He competed with Lisa to become Queen of the Summer.
Soon I'll be Queen of Summertime. Oh, King!
And was just one of many kids who ventured into Shelbyville to get back the town's lemon tree. Also in one of my favourite episodes, he accompanies Bart, Milhouse and Nelson on a cross-country trip, but for the most part Martin served primarily as a comedic bit player, with his commitment to learning and his unique interests usually pointed out for a quick short gag. And all of a sudden he was grouped up in slapstick sequences, focusing on him and other nerds who ended up also being targeted by the bullies. Now grouped together with the typical other nerds, Martin lost that grating goody-goody identity that defined many brilliant episodes. Therefore, episodes focusing on Martin became fewer and far between, fluctuating again in the later teen years of the seasons, where Martin received a slight bit more focus. His time as a hall monitor was explored in season 18's parody of the fellow Fox series 24. Over the course of the episode, Martin was revealed to have been blackmailed into becoming the bully's inside man within the hall monitor's force and provides them information when he needs to. Horrified at what he's become, Martin gives himself a wedgie, which is a reference to a character's dark end from the series 24. However, season 19's dull end for Nerda was somehow even darker. It focused on Bart and Lisa encountering Martin in the woods. A prank by Bart had accidentally got Martin hurt, and their attempts to save him only seemed to get him killed. But while the majority of the episode focused on Bart and Lisa's increasing guilt at the realization that they'd seemingly gotten away scot-free with murdering their classmate, Martin had survived and proved his genuine skill in a bind by surviving on his own in the wilderness for a period. His relationship with Bart was re-explored in season 23's Replaceable You, working together to construct a science project that actually ended up being a helpful contribution to the town of Springfield. Season 33's Boys in the Highlands gave Martin a real, genuine showcase. As part of a punishment for a series of recent escapades, Bart, Nelson and Dolph are forced to trek across the rocky terrain and fend for themselves amongst the wilderness. Martin joins them seemingly by choice, but as later revealed, he was there due to an act he committed because of the pressures from his parents.
I broke into that pharmacy to steal more drugs because I still wasn't focused enough to please my parents.
This development followed suit, as in the few times they have been shown, Martin's parents have been portrayed to be overcritical and judgmental.
Spare me your euphemisms. It's fat camp for Daddy's chubby little secret.
You promised you wouldn't make a scene.
The episode not only dealt with his complicated relationship with his parents and success, but also gave Martin the chance to call out Bart for his fair weather friendship.
You're only nice to me when no one's around, which makes you worse than a bully. It makes you a coward and a conformist.
This was something us as viewers noticed too, so it was kind of cathartic to see Martin finally calling Bart out. Martin's breakdown of both the walls in his mental state and his contrived happy-go-lucky demeanour finally made him worthy enough to sit with the bad kids at the end of the episode and be, even just briefly, accepted and respected by his peers.
Prince, you're a certified pre-owned badass.
Finally, it felt sweet. The episode ends with Bart and Martin seemingly having made peace with one another, effectively settling a conflict that started over 30 years ago. I genuinely hope we see Martin play more of a pivotal role in episodes from this moment forward, and not simply relegated into the background again. It's quite refreshing to see Bart interacting with someone who's polar opposite to him, and someone who isn't afraid to call him out on his wrongdoings. And so we've come to the end of the video. What's your personal favourite Martin moments? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.